love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted. Stay humble.
Can you hear me, people? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Okay. Sorry about that. Please hit the like button, subscription button, notification button, all that good stuff. Welcome to LRFC, everybody. It's me and Mr. JK. Today, we're going to be discussing all things Liverpool, about current players, contracts, and all that stuff. And, Liverpool FC, all things Liverpool FC. Please do me a favor. If you're watching in other social media such as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, please come to the YouTube channel, subscribe. We're on the road to 3,000. This is a regular thing that we do on this channel. If it's not me, you're gonna get JK. If it's not JK, you're gonna get Nalante. Sometimes you get all three of us. Sometimes you get two of us. Yeah, so it's just an exciting time on LRFC, and we want you to join us. And have some place to go to when you need to. Let your frustrations out, or be positive and all that stuff, if you know what I mean, people. So that's what it's all about down here. What's going on, JK? If you could hear me, bro.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. It's all good. I'm good, bro. I hope you're cool.
Yeah, man. Sweet, my friend. Sweet. So you basically on the thumbnail it says what's next with the current players, Mo Salah, Van Dijk, and Trent. We're hearing a lot of stuff, aren't we? We're hearing a lot of stuff about the contracts at the moment. Where do you stand with that, bro? Like the amount of time it's taking and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Is it something that disrupts the team as well at the same time, bro?
For me, it's a drama that we didn't really need this season.
Yeah.
It's been a distraction. It's been there all season. For me, it should have been done in the summer, where you offered at least 3 years to all three.
Yeah.
For me, still our best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
You can't really judge him on the week he had against PSG and Newcastle, but for me, best player in the world. And we've allowed all these guys to be sort of distracted by that, or given an excuse to be distracted by them three top not signing a new contract. The club have done that. The amount of players we've allowed to go on free, in the time these guys have been with us has been crazy.
Yeah,
a lot of players left on a free.
Yeah,
okay, they're saving money on wages, but they could have got a fee in for all of them. If they were smart about it, and I think they've allowed the Salah, Virgil, and the Trent one to be a distraction, just in case we don't buy no one in the summer coming up. We've kept all three. All of us are going to be happy, no doubt. Don't get me wrong, but for me, it's always been used as a way not to buy no one as well, and we haven't bought no one anyway.
Yeah, it is frustrating, bro. We're gonna obviously go on Twitter and check out what's going around the social media side of obviously the game in regards to Liverpool Football Club. I've heard Trent has said something recently about what I discussed actually earlier in the season, and what I said is Trent at his age, 26, I think he's going to 27 very soon as well, is gonna ask the club's ambition, for the next seasons of of his prime. I mean, this is his prime now, isn't it? He's entering his prime stage. So what's wrong with him saying things like this, JK? As you know, a lot of our fan base have had a go at him, and they're not happy with him for, Scouser thing and not signing a contract and etc. Where do you stand with Trent's, delay in his contract talks and all this stuff, and asking a lot of questions, in regards to the ambition of the club for him to sign a new contract?
That pantomime's been going on for a long time. And out of the three, he's the youngest, vice captain. And for me, if that should have been wrapped up a time ago. Yeah. I just don't like the way we've allowed all threes to be on that horizon of, are they staying, are they going, are they staying, are they going? We don't need that. with Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
Trent is for me, he could stay for another 7 years and play.
Yeah.
And like for me, what I mean by offering him a 3-year deals, 2 with the option of 3. Trent, you could have offered 4, no problem. Virgil, like Salah, the reason why I'd say 3 is because if you're going to get a half good Salah, what we've had this season, that's still big numbers.
Yeah.
You know, and the way Virgil plays, that guy can play 3 years, no problem.
Yeah, Virgil's very fit, you know, like he always says, like he's got his own team around him, and he's always, you know, keeping, the fitness up and all that stuff. He's always determined, you know, to go on for a while, if you know what I mean, JK. I like that, you know what I mean. If you've got your own nutrition and all that stuff, and you know, your own team around you to help you through, you know, stages of, you know, recovery and prolong your career. Let me just put it that way: prolong your career as a footballer. I like that because Virgil never really drops his form. He's always fit. He's always, you know, ready to go, and he plays basically majority of the games in every season. He's been here bar one season when he got that ligament injury. You know what I mean, so his commitment is all there anyway. I'm a firm believer. Like people can say, "How do you know?" and all that stuff, but I think, you know, Trent and Virgil will stay, from what I've heard. So it's just the ambition of the club, guys. You know, you could put it in the comments as well. I said it like a while ago about Trent. Like he will ask these questions when the contracts, you know, renewal comes back, and he's already doing that. And I agree with him because at age of 26, 27, you should be winning titles on a regular basis. And if the club doesn't really share that side of ambition as a player and as a club, then really, why should we have a go at him being at Liverpool Football Club? Liverpool Football Club should be challenging all the time. Liverpool Football Club should not be waiting 5 years to go again, as we have again. You know what I mean? So I agree with him 100%.
I have no problem if they all 3 of them want to leave, you know, because for me, they've been here.
What do you think of that?
In their prime years.
What do you think what he's saying, though? Like, if you want me to stay, you got to show me ambition. Is that right?
That's normal for me. Why would a player want to play for a team that's got no drive?
Yeah, exactly, mate. Spot on.
And the way we've sort of messed around, bro, we haven't bought a player in 4 transfer windows bar Chiesa.
Yeah.
Okay, that just tells me where we're at. We've got away with it in the way we've played. And but saying that will be 2 Premier League titles for the 4 or 3.
Yeah.
In the time they've been playing for us.
Yeah.
And that's not great.
That's not, guys. I mean, you got to take that into consideration. I mean, like, if I was a footballer, especially in the modern day, it's not all about where you're from anymore. It's about what you have in the cabinet. You know what I mean? And what you're going to talk about in the future to your kids, your grandkids, and all that stuff. Like what I've won as a player. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? I've never seen a player come on like, you know, come into football and saying, "I don't want to win anything." That's impossible. You might as well just not play football if you're going to say you don't want to win anything. It doesn't make any sense. So he loves the club. Don't get him wrong. Like, it's not like he doesn't love Liverpool Football Club. People mistaken that with Trent, like, because he's a Scouser, he's a Liverpool fan, like, and they're thinking like Gerrard did the same thing in 2005. He asked questions, innit? Is this club ambitious enough? And he didn't sign the contract until after the Champions League win against AC Milan, as you remember. And people was burning his shirt outside Anfield and all that stuff. So it's tough, guys. You know, under this ownership, it's very, very tough. Because I'm that type of person. I check about everything about the ownership that we have and what their targets are. And most of the time, there's nothing coming back from them. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, guys. Listen, I've said it. I've heard Trent and Van Dijk are gonna sign. I hope it's gonna happen, but that's just from me. Because things can change along the way, JK, can't they? They could change, man. You know what I mean? So
why have we had this burden all season on our shoulders?
I don't know, bro.
You know, like the week where we really needed these three guys to step up, the PSG and the Newcastle final.
Yeah.
Trent weren't involved in the final. And I think Trent, for me, has played really great the last 2 months. He's been part of the...
He's been great. Defensively,
he's been great. Because for me, he knew that Gomez ain't there. He knew that Conor Bradley's not there. And Trent's always had games where he's come off in 60th minute, 65 minutes. He's come off or he's come on a sub. So he hasn't even started.
Yeah.
And he had them games where he knew that he's going to be playing all the game. Majority of the game, he'd be starting as well. All them games because them other guys weren't there.
Yeah.
So for me, he was locked in. We missed him against Newcastle.
Oh, we did, man. Oh, we did. You know, like when you got a team that plays consistently together and you take one player out or two, it's not the same team, is it? It's different. We didn't really push, you know, Newcastle to their limits or anything like that in the game. They were so comfortable, bro. They were very comfortable. But as I said in the previous stream, like I've come out of those games happier because it's not how good those teams were, it's how bad we've been because of the fatigue and, you know, the players underperforming into the, you know, to their levels. That's how I took out of it. And because I thought like after that PSG game, it was just the players, like they can't cope with, you know, high intensity football from the opponents that's better than you. But it was nothing to do that. If they faced Liverpool from say about 4 or 5 months ago, I honestly think we would have won the 2 games. Just we just play with the same 11 all the time and expect, you know, the results to be the same. Ain't gonna happen, man. Ain't gonna happen. But as you said about the contracts, yeah, man, we shouldn't be doing the things like this. We should be more mature as a football club. You know what I mean? We should be when things are going good, everything around the club should be going at the same direction. And we didn't choose to do that, guys. This is why we're having these debates and these, you know, streams about things like this. To me, it's just sad. Like we're talking about things like this. These things should be solved a long time ago. It shouldn't be, you know, happening when the season is still going, especially when we're targeting trophies and all that stuff.
Exactly. What are we doing? You know, this sort of these topics shouldn't even be involved in our club.
Yeah.
You know, like what are we doing? We've had microphones chucked into Salah's face in the last months. What's happening, Mo? What's happening? And he hasn't ever gave an answer that us fans have said, yeah, he's staying.
Yeah.
You know, the owners for me for a long time haven't been really great owners. You know, they've done a lot of good things, but for me, they're standard procedure. Getting stands made up, getting training grounds that are ready to handle world-class players, you know. So for me, they've done the bog standard. They've done it. They've got businesses coming in every month willing to advertise with us.
Yeah.
Last week alone, they had another company. You can't even remember which one it is now. Lucas Aid's come in. They've got this company, that.
Yeah.
So for me, that part of the game is going all well for them guys. But for me, the cherry on the cake, they've never done.
Yeah.
They never acted like guys who want to dominate for 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
No.
Even though they had Klopp, that was for me the top time to lay a marker in the football world and say, you know what, guys, we're the team for the next 10 years. Not Real Madrid, not Man City, us. You know, look how many finals we got to.
Yeah.
Okay. I always say this: finals are always the players' duty to win it, not the managers. But for me, the formation and the team lineup, Slot played in that final against Newcastle, is where I've sort of switched it around there. I blame Slot for that one, not the players. Why? The players are battered. Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jota, all 3 of them guys shouldn't have started the Newcastle game. So I blame the manager for that one. Okay. Normally with Klopp's teams, the guys who were starting all deserve to be starting. And it's the So he's done his job. He's got him to the final.
Yeah.
It's the player's duty to win that final majority of the time.
Yeah.
Nyota never turned up again. The midfield didn't have enough legs.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spot on. You're spot on. You're spot on. 100% spot on, man. You can see on the obviously on the screen there, guys. Like Liverpool are continuing talks with Trent Alexander-Arnold. The delay is not solely down to finance. Its considerations are centered around the competitiveness of the team, amongst the other factors and the future direction that the team will be going in. See, guys, I said that to you, I think about 5 months ago, 6 months ago, when I said to you, like, sometimes the delays is to do with not just the player, it's what you ask of the club. You know what I mean? Where are we going? Am I going to be winning trophies? And that's what he's asking. And people already, having a go at him on all that stuff. I like the way he did things because he kept it quiet. He's not disrespecting the club. He's not disrespecting himself, and all that stuff. Because he's not putting it out there in the media. You know what I mean? You've got to respect him for that. You know what I mean? And him asking these questions that we see on the screen is not a bad thing for a player. I don't think it is. You know what I mean? And all this stuff about a player has to be loyal because he supports the club and all that. That's not today's football. That's what people need to realize. Football's changed. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, the old days when a player solely remains in one club, even when they don't win titles and all that stuff. Maybe their talent doesn't take them anywhere else. Maybe that's why they stayed in that club. Has anyone thought about things like that? So I like this. If this is true, I don't know about you, JK. If this is true, what we're reading here, I like it. Asking the club, like, are we going to win the league next season? Are we going to win the Champions League next season? Are we going to be doing this, in the next 2 to 3 years, or 4 years, or 5 years? Or are we just going to be doing what we've been doing in the last 10 years? Like, every 5 years, every few years, we're challenging for a trophy. Like, do you like that, JK, the way he went about it? But before we go on, let me just read the comments, yeah? Sorry about that, guys. Big up RKO, bro. Big up, bro. Big up, man.
Bless, bro.
We're all good, man. We're all good. We're doing this on a regular, like you guys asked. I mean, the poll question: can we sign all three? Sure, we don't think so. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I said 2 of them, but there's one obviously that's an issue, Mr. Better Red. So yeah, we have to wait and see, bro. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, I know. Sorry about that. I put the volume down in it before the actual stream starts. Then I forgot to put it back up. And I got it. Big up, Ravi, bro. Big up. Oh, yes. But put the comments through, guys. We're here for you guys. At the end of the day, we're here to represent you. We want to read your comments, and then we could obviously have our thoughts towards your comments. So that's what we're here for. We're always here for, obviously, the chat. So please put that on there. I wish we were serious about Julian Alvarez, his quality. I said that, Ravi. Remember? I said that a while ago, bro. I think he's what Liverpool need. A player that can adapt to any formations and can score goals and clinical at the same time. And if there's an emergency in the team, in the front 3 area, he can play in that position. I've always said that about him. You know what I mean? And I love Isak. But Isak is going to be too expensive, and he only plays as a striker. That's the difference between the two. Big up, Mr. John Conway. Big up, brother. Big up, bro.
Big up, John.
Great to see you again, bro. Great to see you again. I hope everything's well, John. I hope everything's well with you and your family, brother. No way are FSG offering free deals to VVD Salah when they are 30 plus. Yes, this is what people talk about, isn't it? They say about Marco Edwards, innit? He doesn't do 30. You know what I mean? That's why he left in the first place, because Henderson was the biggest problem that he had with Klopp. Klopp wanted to sign Henderson into a 3-4 year contract, I think when he was 30 years old, and Marco Edwards said, nope, I mean, we're not going to give that. And then they had that clash, and Marco Edwards decided to leave, and Julia Wards came in for 1 season, and he left as well. But carry on, JK. What do you think what I said earlier, bro? Hopefully you remember what I said.
About the Virgil and Salah?
Yeah.
Look, for me, when you're the top best player in the world right now, for me, that's Salah this season.
Yeah.
And then you got Virgil, the best centre-back in the world. There's no ifs or buts about.
What I was saying is about the comment there about Trent the way he's saying,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I agree with that as
yeah,
well. That's just common sense in that way of you want to play in a team that's competitive and you've got players next to you who are good as you or even better.
yeah.
You know, yeah,
You know, like,
but
especially what he's saying, like, about the ambition of the club, bro. Like, to me, from what I read when I'm looking at that comment, is like he doesn't care about this. He no longer wants this, you know, every few years kind of trophy charge. Do you get what I'm saying, JK?
yeah,
He wants
yeah,
it to be a regular thing at his age now. He's what is he? He's 26, heading towards 27, isn't he? Something like that, Trent. So he's no longer 19. You know what I mean? He can wait for a while. That's gone out the window for him now. He's more of, you know, here and now. Now he's talking about here and now. I want to win things now. I mean, October 7th of October is his next birthday, so he's gonna be 27. You know what I mean, in October. So, do you agree with him? Like, telling the club, are we here to have a title charge, like, in the coming future, like in the next 2 to 3 years, or are you just happy doing this bit by bit? You know what I mean? He's asking that question, and I think if they say this bit by bit, I think this is the thing that's gonna push him over the edge to leave as well.
Look, bro, he's seen in the last windows alone that these lot are not going to be doing it. In the last 15 years since they've been with us, they've never really done it. You know, they've done the bare necessities. And also, when we brought Szoboszlai, McAllister, Endo, and Gravenberch in, we had to.
Yeah.
We had no one else because a lot of guys left that season, you know. They've never done that. What really Trent really, really wants, I don't believe.
Yeah.
You know,
do you agree with the loyalty thing as well? Like what I said earlier about the modern day players compared to the players that we grew up with. That has to be thrown out the window about being local and all this stuff. Because I don't hear much of that anymore. I don't really hear a lot about that anymore, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, Rashford playing for Villa right now.
There you go. That says a lot.
Says everything, really. But for me, Rashford should have done that about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think when you're not playing great for your club, nothing really matters then, really, if you understand my point. It don't matter if you've been at the club since day one and stuff like that. For me, Trent has been playing great in the last 2 months. And I think Trent, for me, one of my favourite Liverpool players. I think on the board, you ain't getting no one better than him.
Yeah.
He's even better than Szoboszlai with the ball, bro. That's my honest opinion. And I think Trent's thinking now, like, I'm at this age, I want to win more. He's won one Premier League, one Champions League, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it's, for me, common sense tells me if he's going to go, he's going to go. He should have gone maybe in the summer, just gone. And we would have got a 30, 40 million pound fee for him. I think he should have done that, in my opinion, if he's going to go. If he's going to stay, for me, carry on. I want him to stay. Like, what a player. We missed him against Newcastle. That showed me a game where if any fan says to me, Trent ain't great and this, that, and the other, that Newcastle game was the game where he would have been useful. Also in the PSG game, do you remember what minute he came off? It was about 65th or something.
Something like that, yeah.
You know what I mean? We still needed him in that game as well. You know?
Yeah.
And Trent, for me, the best player in the world in his position. Defensively, much better than he was. What I worry about Trent is this, bro. I believe in the last 2-3 years, he hasn't fulfilled what I thought he could have been.
Yeah. Do you think it's the stage where the club's at sometimes, like when things like that happen, bro?
It could be a number of things.
Because, we had to rebuild, we had to get rid of a lot of, midfielders and defenders and all this stuff, aging players. And it took us a while, innit, to challenge again, like this season. I mean, because you can't really call you've done something if you finish second and all that stuff. Nobody remembers second, bro. It's all about first, innit? So it took us a while to get back here, like 5 years, like I said earlier. So
yeah, but look, when you look at Salah's numbers, no matter how good the team's doing, he still does his shift, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Virgil the same. And I feel Trent in the last 2 years hasn't done that. No. He's been great, then he's been really poor. Like, he's had some poor games, bro.
Yeah.
You can't really... Okay, Salah, I reckon he had a poor week against PSG and Newcastle.
Yeah.
Why? He wasn't involved in anything. There was no goals or assists to be done by him at all. And he wasn't even involved in the game. I think sometimes Salah gets away with it because of his numbers. And for me, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? I'm not really bothered how Salah plays. For me, when he gets a goal and an assist to win us that game, he's done what he gets paid for. It's the rest of the team have to do with their part as well. You know what I mean? If you're a number 9 and you're not getting goals, what you got to do is extra hard work by getting that ball back and linking up with the wingers and setting up other people, you know, like get the game going. And I think Salah, I'm always happy with what he puts in, bro. I can never ever, I can never say a bad word against Salah. For me, top player, best in the world for me this season.
Yeah, I think people need to calm down. You know,
and also, I'll quickly add something to that. I think Salah missed Trent in that final against Newcastle. Why?
Yeah.
Trent and Salah are the partnership, bro, on the right. They worked together for years. They always worked together good. And I think he missed that, my opinion. It was Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's all right. He did okay, bro. But for me, Trent's a different ball game with the ball. He just splits teams. He does outside of the foot, 30-yard passes. Like, what a guy, man.
Yeah, man. I imagine everything clicks, JK, like how good we could be. Like if Soboslai plays the way we want him to play, McAllister, obviously, Gravenberch, as they were doing in the beginning of the season, if you know what I mean. But imagine everything clicks, how good we could be, man.
That's how important that midfield is to a team. Bless Dara as well, bro. Hope you're cool, Dara.
Big up Dara, man. He says, I'm only concerned about Everton and nothing else. We are.
Next game, top game to come back into. You know what I mean? I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm like, we need to do what they did to us and what Newcastle did to us and PSG. They bullied us, bro. That's why we lost them games. Nothing technical about it. It was basic. Let's not get these guys cozy. That was their philosophy, and they did that a treat. Newcastle did that to us. Joe Linton made sure we didn't even get a drink, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you weren't getting cozy in that game with Joe Linton running around like that. And not one of our midfielders thought, you know what, this guy's making fun of us. We need to give him a bit of his own medicine. Not one guy, bro. And I don't understand that. Hence why Gerrard was in the crowd.
Yeah.
I was at half time, I'm like, bring him on, bring Darwin on, and bring Chiesa on.
It was good to see Gerrard, and they started singing the song again, didn't it?
Yeah, for him.
Gerrard,
but he could have played that game. We needed someone like him in the middle of the park, bro. Do you reckon he'll let Joe Linton run around?
Oh, he would do that straight away, man. Straight away.
He would have took him to the cleaners.
Sometimes they say, JK, the first tackle like in a game is what sets it. It depends on the team that does it. And we don't do that enough. I wish we did that. Like we had that aggressive side.
Why don't you reckon we do that? Like for me, I reckon we played some great football, this, that, and the other. But like I think it was you saying it the other day about Fabinho when he come into the team.
Yeah,
everything just
everything changed, bro.
There you go.
We became more aggressive. We became, like I said about the Barcelona game. If you remember, he didn't give a shit if it's Messi, or Suarez. He was taking them out, bro. He was taking them out.
Yep.
That's what you need in that midfield, man. And like you got to put the fear in players. You have to. If you play nicey football, they'll take the piss out of you. Let's just put it that way. I mean, look at Joe Linton. He was battering people in that game. He was bullying people. I mean, and that's what we're missing. I love the midfield that we got, but they're just nice guys. You know what I mean? We need someone in that middle that's, doesn't take any shit. Stuff a lot, but you know what I mean?
McAllister is that guy, I believe. But we need someone next to him. Like for me, Gravenberch, top player.
Yeah.
But he needed a hand in January.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to give Endo the game time. Like Endo should have started the Southampton game, and he should have started the Newcastle game. I'm not saying Endo's world class and nothing like that. I'm not saying that. I just feel when a guy's not running as good as he was 3 months ago, there's something wrong. And playing him is not going to do the club any favors.
No. But the thing is, I said that many a times. I said sometimes, like in life, guys, when you look at a head coach, manager, whatever you want to say, doing the same thing repeatedly, like again and again, sometimes the message is in that. You know what I mean? He's giving you a message, which is he doesn't believe the squad is big enough, strong enough for him to use. You know what I mean? Because when he comes in as a head coach, he hasn't got much to say. You know what I mean? It's just a yes or no about players. You know what I'm saying? So for him not using the likes of Endo and Chiesas and Harvey Elliott's and etc. is a message out there that he doesn't really fancy them as players. Because if you like players and you want them to play, you play them in every opportunity. You know what I mean? You start them in games, for example. But every single time we see Liverpool nowadays, it's the same players in every game. It doesn't matter if the next game is important to win, if you know what I mean. If it's a Champions League game, before it is Southampton, he still plays the same team. So that's a message.
I don't understand it.
No, it's a message. It's a message, JK. It's a message saying he doesn't believe in the squad as a whole, bro. I honestly think that.
So he's jeopardizing.
He can't say it. He can't verbally say it. He has to do it in a different way. It's like Jurgen. Remember what he used to do? He used to give you little messages on his news conferences to make you like understand like he's struggling here. He needs players, more players. New players. And people used to ask, but why is he signing players into contracts again who should be leaving Liverpool Football Club? Because if he gets rid of those players, there's nothing coming in. Do you know what I mean, JK? So exactly. How many players, like you just said, a lot of players run their contracts down and they're left. Did we replace them? No, because we're still waiting for the replacement. I mean, Genie left. Who did we replace Genie with, bro? Nobody. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to look at the coach's actions. It's something people, I don't think, look at sometimes. If you're playing the same players again and again and again and again, that means you're not trusting the squad that's on that's on the bench. The players on the bench, and after that as well. You know what I mean? So it's a mess. You know what I mean? We're in. I wish we signed some players in the summer. You know what I mean? But they didn't want to sign any players. You know what I mean? They want with this. Even in January, another transfer window came. They didn't sign anybody, and we went with this and thinking like, I don't know about you, JK. I don't think they thought we would challenge this season. I honestly don't think this thing that's happening now. Like many of us, they didn't expect it. I honestly think that.
No, I knew. I always know that we're gonna do something.
No, not us. I'm talking about the
owners. Yeah. Like the owners. I don't know, bro. Like for me, I don't really know anything about their football knowledge, like how they see football. Because John Henry's never had made a video and say, "Hey, I think soccer's like this," or you know what I mean. He's never done that, bro. Like he's never done nothing to tell us guys he knows his football. Yeah. I think the way he runs a club shows me he's a happy-go-lucky type of guy, where he's happy not to have a big outlay to get him success, and he's happy to give what he gives, and to see if that works. Like for me, I don't really like that top four. He's happy with top four saying. I've never liked that top four thingy. I'm not into top four. I'm like top one position. That's all I care about. I'm not into top four unless it's like 3 games left and we need 4 points. Yeah, that's a different ball game then. But
what we need to understand. Sorry, carry on, bro.
We're a league winning team, bro. If we win the league this season, we're number 1 team in England along with Man United.
Yeah. And next season, if we win it again, we're outright. You know what I mean? Nobody can speak to us at all. But still, nobody can speak to us. But I'm saying, like, in regards to like biggest club, nobody can ever take that away from us. You know what I mean?
No.
But the thing is, like, as soon as you win one title, you're supposed to be going for the next one in and all that stuff. Well, the thing is, like, you was just talking about the owners, JK. You're spot on what you're saying, bro. Let me just read. Obviously, it's saying Isak is not for sale, Ray. Everybody has a price, bro. Everybody, and it depends on the player as well, Ray. If the player has ambition to win more titles, the big titles I'm talking about, you can't stop them going, bro. You can't stop them going. So it depends on Isak, to be fair. It depends on Isak, if you know what I mean. Keep the chat coming in, guys. We're here for you, as I always say. I'm good, thanks, Fawzi. How are you? And how is JK? Well, I'm good, bro. I'm
all good as well, John. Yeah. Thank you. I hope you are.
Big up, Hash, man. Big up, bro.
Bless up, Hash. Bless up, bro.
It's amazing, isn't it? We just turn up and people come on and help us out on this. Big up, Fawzi, JK, chat. Big up, brother. Big up, man. Appreciate
They
that.
love Liverpool like us, bro. Everyone loves Liverpool. You know what I mean? When you give your time up for something, it's because you love it. Yeah. So for me, like when you give your time up to talk about Liverpool, because we want to. Football's always been a thing about a lot of things happens off the pitch. Like football's football, you know, on the pitch, whatever happens in the game and this and that and the other and stuff. Like even in the old days when you had no internet and stuff, you get together with your guys to play football every week, you know, down the park and stuff. But before that, you'll end up talking about the games and who's playing good.
Yeah,
it's the way football is. Football fans love talking about football. It's the biggest in the world, football.
Yeah.
Everyone loves talking about it.
Spot on, man. I'll continue what you were saying about the ownership. I'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
Red says links to Kirk's Frimpong are exciting. A refresh in fullback positions is certainly needed. Would love us to get 2 centre backs as well, considering we likely lose Van Dijk. Gomez has to go. Gomez, I think, has reached his limit at Liverpool Football Club. I don't. Where can he go? I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing for him. In my opinion, like, he's too injury prone now. Like he's always been injury prone. Sorry, but how much more can we take? When we need him the most, he's never available. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? It's not his fault. Injuries can hit anybody, but we need fully fit squad all the time, man. I mean, and these injury-prone players are not pulling their weight enough. You know.
Do you think it could be like when we look at Virgil and Salah, never injured, bro?
Yeah.
Why? Because they're prime athletes. Their mental state of their mind. They play the game in the way they play it, and it protects their body at the same time. That's how good they are. My opinion.
Yeah, you were speaking about the ownership, about the targets, like top 4, JK. What I realize is the reason they do what they do is because, you know, if you become champions again and again and again and again, it means you have to dip into the kitty to spend more money to retain it. You know what I mean? And this is what they don't want. This is how I see it from their point of view. Because the more trophies you win, the more ambitious you have, and the more, you know, money you have to spend. It's bad for them, if you know what I mean. And that's what they don't want. This is why they're happy with the top 4 finish, because you get money for the Champions League, don't you? And you get money for the Champions League and all that stuff. It's good for them. You know what I mean? This is why they only spend when we're at the Champions League. I mean, you don't really see them spending when we're challenging for a title. You only see them when we're at the Champions League. There's more money coming in, if you know what I mean. If you look at the season we signed Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Endo, it was a season we was at the Champions League. So if you look back at history, this is the only times we sign big, you know, like make a big transfers, you know what I mean? And then you look at the Salah time. We've got Salah and all these other guys, because we was in the we just got in the Champions League that season. So that's how it is. It's never like when we need it the most, which is retaining a championship or something like that, they spend, if you know what I mean. And this is how it is. If they have to depend to the kitty on a consistent basis, they're never going to do it, guys. And this is the worrying part, in my opinion. This is why I've always asked, like, why can't we sit with these people and ask them what their intentions are with that football club? Then we will know where we could go. Do we want them out, or do we want them to stay, if you know what I mean? Because that's the best way to. It's like when the Red Sox talk to them. They were on the stage. John Behery was talking about saying players are too expensive nowadays and all that stuff. What sport are you in, bro? I mean, you're in a sport where you pay for players. This is what you chose as a owner. I mean, when you're owning something like a sport franchise or whatever it is, this is what you do. You have to, you know, spend. That's how it is. You're actually in a sport, which is money. Money for players is key. And the way he was talking when he was talking to the Red Sox about players are too expensive these days shows he hasn't got that, you know-how about any sport. It's not just baseball. Imagine, like, he's talking about that, like that, about baseball. What about the, you know, football? He won't know much about it either. And this is why we're stuck. We are stuck in a position is very difficult to get out of because they're not willing to sell this club, guys. We're going to be here talking about the same thing year in and year out. Do you agree, JK? That made sense out of that, bro. Sorry about that.
Yeah. That's why I don't really talk about that topic no more. It's like look, like when you look at the voting, when you vote for political groups, it could be either wing, left wing, right wing. They all end up doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's like football owners now, bro. That's why I say I put these owners on the same level as the Tories, bro. Take. And
imagine that. I think we discussed it after the show, innit? Us, Liverpool fans, yeah, there's one thing, especially local fans, there's one thing you could say about them. They fight for their city. They fight for their football clubs, you know what I mean? But why can't they fight this? That's what I don't understand, bro. I'm just confused when I see things like that, JK. When you know what your club represents, which is winning, you know what I mean? And you talk about Bill Shankly quotes, Bob Paisley quotes and all that stuff, yeah? It's all about winning, you know what I mean? And you don't really go towards that direction. You just accept for what we are, which is, a team that challenges now and again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, what is that all about? If you're opposing people mistreating your city, mistreating your people, what about when someone is mistreating your football club? I mean, how long can we go on and say thank you, FSG, for saving us? You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying, Jay? Like, it's just too long, bro.
Bro, if they can organize Taylor Swift and Elton John concerts, they can organize the DM. Simple.
Yes, bro. That is true. That is true, bro. Or the same team keeps winning. What does it? I don't know about that one, Dara. What does he mean about that, Jackie? Or the same team keeps winning. Let me see the other one. Maybe the other one will make it more clearer for us. Please, people, like, share, and subscribe if you're new. Appreciate that. Not winning the Premier League would be a mess. Imagine that, Dara. Imagine that, bro. Like, we've done all this hard work this season, and we don't win the Premier League. Oh,
don't say that, lads. Come on.
It'd be a travesty.
It'd be a travesty.
Big up Edward, man. Big up Edward. Edward says can't lose our best players if we go on to win the league. Oh, 100%. You're right, man. Like when you win the league, you got to improve in it. You got to improve on those players. Like get play good players around them. That's empower them, and that's normal clubs, normal circumstances. That's what clubs do. But yeah, it's difficult, man.
But I like the humbleness of our fans. Like when you look at Dara and Edward's comments there,
yeah,
they're both querying if we're going to win it yet. We're 12 points ahead, but they're still imagine we were Arsenal fans. They'd be celebrating, bro. They've got bus routes already organized for the parade.
They already done it, man. They're already taking the piss out of us. You know what I mean? They're already calling us out and all that stuff on streams. That's how it is with Arsenal fans. You know what I mean? They haven't had success for years, innit? It's just dry at the Emirates, innit?
Other people's failure is their success.
Exactly, bro. Hi, Fozzy JK chat. How are you? We need a rotation, depth, and fully fit squad. We need owners back the head coach, ambition, trophies, and investment. FSG, yeah. Like, comments, share, subscribe. Thanks. Big up Abdul as always, bro. One of the best guys, man. Big up realism, man. My new fans friend. Big up, bro.
That's realism.
Cool guy, bro. Cool guy. Like, subscribe, and share. Big up. Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. Yeah, so this comment from David Olstein, it says on Mo Salah's contract situation in a Q&A on the Athletic. He's talking about obviously Mo Salah only. I don't think he's talking about anyone else, but let's just read what he's saying. I just know Liverpool have been optimistic for some time that they will reach an agreement because ultimately they want Salah to stay, and there is a belief that he is happy and would like the same. Now, of course, the numbers will need to be right on what we think is a proposed 2-year extension, and clearly that has not been easy. What do you think about that, bro? What you just said the first part. Would you agree with the 2-year extension for Salah, or I'm more of when you reach their age 32, 33, a year extension? That's what I say because on performances, because bro, one serious injury and you're stuck with about 3-year contract here, and they can't get out of that. You know what I mean? They have to pay them out, a heavy payout, if you know what I mean. So at their age, it's very. I know you're happy. Probably you're happy with more, like 2 or 3 years, right, JK? Something like that. But I've always said, like, you got to be careful with things like that, especially at their age, bro. One serious injury, they can't recover from. Look at Matip. One ligament injury, he retired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what
but for
worries
me, bro, I look at the individuals concerned, and I say that them two are for me, the best in the business, professional, health wise, injuries wise. Like, they've done it, bro. It ain't like they haven't done it. It ain't like Gomez, who's always injured, and Jota. Jota is another guy on that list of always injured type of guys. Kanate as well. Trent had his injuries, but for me, Salah and Virgil, Mr. Fit, both of them, and they can play another 2-3 years in the Premier League for me.
Yeah.
How can they be the best in the world, but still can't get a 3-year contract, a 2-year contract, 3-year contract? It don't make common sense to me.
It's Marco Edwards, in it. He doesn't like giving a
well, I don't really agree with him. I never really liked him anyway. Like, he could do what he wants.
He left. You know why he left? Because he didn't want to give contracts. But the thing is, like, you can't bribe people to, what do you call it? When they let players go for free and all that stuff, you can't keep doing things like that and nothing comes in return. I mean, and the head coach or the manager within their right, they have to, like, keep the players, because they know the quality coming in or the lack of players coming in ain't going to be in power with these players, isn't it, JK? That's how it is. I mean, and we've seen it down the years. What has replaced the players, the good players that left Liverpool Football Club? I mean, not many. I mean, we're still waiting for a Fabinho or a Gini Wijnaldum or a Matip replacement. I mean, we're still waiting for that. And a striker, you know what I mean? Like a Firmino, like when Firmino left, Mane left, we're still searching for players, with that kind of quality, unfortunately. I mean, even that we're going to win the league with the players that we have now, that's great. But, the quality that can get you to the next stage, which is the Champions League and the cups and all that stuff, that's what we're missing, if you know what I mean, guys. But
I feel sometimes as fans might go OTT with it, because, like, I reckon if that midfield against PSG was a bit more sharper, we would have won that game. And for me, in the Newcastle game as well, if our midfield was sharper. So for me, fatigue played a big role in that. And for me, Gravenberch and Szoboszlai weren't at the races. And Jota as well. And that was as soon as I seen the team against Newcastle, I weren't happy with it. I seen Jota, I was like, bro, why are you starting him again? Start Darwin. Why are you starting Gravenberch for? Start Endo. Basic stuff, bro. Basic stuff. So for me, if he did them moves, I don't think we'll be looking forward to the Villa game now in the Champions League, and we will be having 2 trophies hopefully for the end of the season, or 3 even. You know what I mean? That's 1 week.
That's what I said, innit? Like, if you look at the performances, that's what made me more optimistic in regards to how we are as a football club. We're in a better position than those results. You know what I mean, JK? Because it's one thing, like, you played the way we played against PSG, and then and then you beat Newcastle. That means PSG are in another level. Do you get what I'm saying? It means PSG are in another level. But when you're playing the same way against both of the team, it shows we wasn't at our level.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree with that.
If it makes sense what I'm saying, guys. I hope.
Like, something's not working, because even if you play bloody Plymouth Argyle again, you would bloody lose 1-0 with that team. That team has won us the league. I'm not going to moan about that, but for me, that team at the moment we had them games were so battered and just no energy at all. That the manager should have been a bit more clued up and thought, you know what, if I don't change it up, it could cost us these 2 games. And he didn't do that. And for me, sometimes stubbornness can bite you, and I think I'm a bit disappointed in his backroom staff who worked with him together. Didn't get together and say, you know what, lads, Gravenberch ain't playing against Newcastle. Nor you are. Like, we've got to change it. So I blame this on Slot and his team that week we had.
It says, but there has so far continuation. Obviously, it was a Salah contract. I think this, but it says, but there has so far been nothing to indicate talks have stopped or are not moving in a positive direction. Furthermore, when you make checks on rumors, reports, suggestions that Salah might be set for a move to the Saudi Super League or PSG, for example, you tend to receive pretty immediate and firm denials. I also don't sense the Champions League and EFL Cup final defeats will have any bearing on the outcome of all timings. The same, I suspect, with Virgil and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Yeah, there you go, people. You know what I mean? It shows, the players are still committed to the football club. Listen, these players are offered heaven and earth. You know what I mean? Like outside Liverpool Football Club for years. It's not just now, guys. Think about it. Like, in their peak of in their prime. Like, if you look at Virgil van Dijk, the best defender for years, and years. Right back, Trent, best right back for years and years. Salah, best right winger for years and years. Like when they were younger, like especially the older two, every team wanted them, but they decided to stay at Liverpool Football Club, and they still want to stay at Liverpool Football Club. So that's important. That shows the loyalty of players as well, because they could earn much more money elsewhere, guys, but they decide to stay at Liverpool Football Club. I mean, that shows you the commitment from both the players, and this is where Michael Edwards and Co need to like smarten up in regards to their contracts. You know what I mean? And understand, like, look at the past; they still remain here. I've never heard Salah say, I want to leave Liverpool. I've never heard Virgil say, I want to leave Liverpool, which they had the opportunities in the past as well. You're telling me teams like Real Madrid and, Barcelona's and PSG's, Juventus at the time when they were, firing, wasn't looking at these players. Let's be honest, man. They had the pick of teams in their prime, their younger age, and they decided to stay. That's why I always say, like, let them terminate. Let them decide when it's time, like Firmino's and Fabinho's did, and Matip's and all these guys and Thiago, etc. They chose the time to say enough is enough. I mean, even though we offered a new contract to Firmino, he said, "Nah, my time is up. I can't do it anymore. It's time to go." Let them decide when the time is right. You know what I mean? Because they deserve it. They've done everything. You know what I mean, and never disrespected our football club either. They're still saying it now. I want to stay. They're still saying, let me sign a new contract. That should tell you enough how committed they are to the football club. And, we should show the same respect back, because when younger players are watching this, when they're coming up and they're going to say, oh, damn, when I reach 30, the club ain't going to look after me. They're going to decide early, they're going to go somewhere else. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? So we've got to be careful. How do we do these things? You know what I mean? Because we want to hold on to the great players in the long term, not short term. And the agents are the key to this as well. They're going to tell their players in the future, we could earn more money elsewhere, and they'll give you more years on your contract if you're playing well. At Liverpool, when you reach 30, Michael Edwards will say, nah, you know what I mean? It's time to go. You don't want the youngsters to hear things like that. Let's just be realistic here, guys. And that's what worries me. Every player at Liverpool Football Club is watching this every single day. And, the ones in their 20s, mid-20s and all that stuff, they're going to consider their future, because this is not what they should be watching. We should not be taking contract like this long. It's embarrassing, man. It's absolutely embarrassing. I hope I made sense what I'm saying, JK. Sorry about that. I'm going for long.
Nah, that's cool, bro. Because for me, when a player that good, like Salah, Virgil and Trent are getting issues with contracts, what hope you got when you're 24, 25 and not starting games to stay at Liverpool, I said this last summer. I said, I don't really want this contract situation to be sort of a deterrent, like something that's going to mess us up.
Yeah.
If we lose them three, that's the spine of our team gone.
Yeah.
We've got Alisson left in that spine. That's it.
You can't let the next generation watch that kind of stuff, JK. You can't. That's why Trent is the way that he is right now. He's thinking about himself. When I reach 30, Michael Edwards ain't gonna give me an extension to my contract. You know what I mean? So even no matter how I play, you know what I mean, JK? No, because it's not like Salah and Van Dijk have dropped, you know, in playing wise. They're still playing in a higher level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're watching this at the age of 26 and all that stuff, you're gonna look at your own future, man. And that's what Trent is doing. That's what he's doing. And the worst part of it is we've got McAllister, Gravenberch, Soboslai, they're young players, man, and they're watching this. I mean, listen, the way we're moving, it's not good, man. It's not a good thing, man. Especially when we've got other players that we need to tie down in the future as well, like Konate and that stuff as well. You know what I mean? Konate, the PSG is chasing him, Real Madrid is chasing him. You know what I mean? So if he's watching this stuff around the football club, then, you know, don't be surprised if he starts coming out and saying the same thing in the future as well. You know what I mean? Holding on. You know, he's got 1 year left, I heard, or something like that, Konate. So he might hold it out as well. It's a scary time at Liverpool, man, because we're not behaving in the right way. We're not. And Ryan Gravenberch has left the Dutch national team training camp as he is still carrying an injury from the weekend. Ryan Gravenberch has left, obviously, the training camp and camp this evening. The midfielder is still suffering from injury sustained over the weekend that prevents him from playing in the match against Spain. There you go, man. We knew there's something wrong with this guy. Like, he's playing too many games and
too many games, bro. Accumulation of tired legs, tired mind, bang, gets injured.
Exactly, bro.
Long time coming, and that's why I'm disappointed with Slot and his team. Not like, come on, he's the most important player of the team. The position he plays, for me, one of the most important. Look at Rodri. Man City without Rodri are Everton.
A good one.
So for me, that position, bro, was so important against Newcastle. I'm going to keep going back to that. Endo should have played against Newcastle.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm quickly go back. Holland, they drew 2-2.
Yeah.
They got a Desmond against Spain, and Grapko scored.
Yeah, Gakpo is phenomenal. Yeah.
I said this would be a good. I weren't happy for this international break for Gravenberch. I said, I don't really want him to go.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm happy for Gakpo. Gakpo's going to be training, and hopefully he'll get 2 games. He played yesterday, and he scored. So if he's going to play the next game for him, he should be starting against Everton for me.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. Gakpo. I love when I watch him when he's fully fit. Like he doesn't just give you goals; he gives you a lot of goals. Don't get me wrong, but it's the creativity side as well, like the crosses and all that stuff. I get more out of him than I get in Diaz. If you know what I mean, JK. And I like that. And I mean, if you're not going to score goals, have something else in your game. And this is what I like about him.
He's got goals in him. I reckon. Yeah. I reckon we missed Gakpo against Newcastle and Trent.
Yeah. Arsenal fan base would be mad if they were in our position. Would be mad.
They wouldn't stop.
Yeah, 100%. Jacob, we'll go in a minute. Are you going to be around, or I might be doing something in the evening, a panel show if you guys are interested. It depends how I feel. I might come on around 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that as well.
Okay.
Our bubble will burst going out of the Champions League, FA Cup, and EFL Cup. We need investment and back the head coach this season. January 2025 was the right time to invest and strengthen FSG. Yeah, Abdul says. Yeah, they don't want to invest, bro. Like, we're just wasting our time and things like that, man. It was sad because I was hoping. I've said that in the first 2 weeks, if you don't sign players in the January transfer window, we're not going to sign anybody. Everybody was still living in hope. I said, we're not going to sign anybody, man. If you're serious, you should be aiming towards that time, the first 2 weeks. And players, you had about 3-4 months to get ready for that window. And plus the summer, obviously, when we missed out on Zubimendi and we didn't do anything about it, it shows, man. It shows. I mean, even when you're at the top of the league, they still haven't, strengthened the team to get to the next level. It's madness, man. What do you think about that, JK?
Bang on. Last January window, this one just gone. 2 times we could have strengthened. 2 times. If we strengthened in January, just gone. One guy for that midfield. Gravenberch Endo position, who's going to come in and give you legs, 90 minutes. We would have won against PSG and would have beat Newcastle, in my opinion.
Spot on,
He
bro.
would have had enough games from January till March to get ready for them games as well. I always had a worry about Gravenberch. I'm like, he's playing too much, you know? Yeah.
Big up, Edward. Edward says, I think a 2-year would be good, no more. Okay. Listen, it is what it is. Everybody has their own way of thinking. I think a year extension on performances, that's how I see it, guys. I mean, because one injury can be a travesty, innit? And they won't come back from that like the same, if you know, at their age, especially, if you know what I mean. So, and then you got another 2 years. This is the 3-year contract I'm talking about, and then you got another couple of years of paying them and all that stuff. I mean, or pay them out with a large amount of money. You just got to be careful at that age, guys. 32, 33. Yeah, long-term contract is very, very rare. Let me just put it that way. Slot has to start building his own team. Yeah, I agree, man. And what he's doing, not building. Can you imagine, like, Ravi? Like, I love that comment. Like, imagine, like, he builds his own team and the image that he wants. Because look what he's doing now. I mean, straight away, like, into the job. It'd be a scary Liverpool if we get the players that he needs. You know what I mean? So, what's the most important with that comment, Ravi? Like, what he did. I don't know if you agree with me, JK. Is what other managers in other clubs have done wrong in the past, like Graham Souness at Liverpool, David Moyes at Man United. They came into the club and changed a lot of stuff too quickly. That's why it's taken Man United years. That's why it took us years to get back to where we was. He came into the club, didn't change anything. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, I know, like we're complaining about, a lot of signings, all that stuff, but sometimes that's the way to do it, because these players know each other. They played together for the last few years. So if you're gonna disrupt that a lot, then listen, getting 1 or 2 players ain't a bad thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it is. But when you're changing everything at the football club, it doesn't go towards the path of success. You know what I mean? But the way he came in hasn't changed anything. It's what made us the club that we are this season. Do you agree with that, Jackie, or do you disagree with that? Because I remember Graham Souness, bro, like when he did his bit, changed everything at Liverpool Football Club. That's when we lost our way. David Moyes at Man United. You could say many managers, actually, bro.
It's a normal thing. New manager comes in, they flash the cash for a bit, just to make him get more comfortable. The manager, he's brought a few guys in he wants there and that. But for me, we didn't really need to tamper with the team, bar the DM role. For me, I was thinking in the summer gone and the January window gone.
Yeah,
he don't really need to do a lot. He's got a top squad there.
Yeah,
and you got people like Kwanzaa and Bradley to come through who are helping out as well. So he had a mixture. I just feel that, I don't know if the Zubimendi sort of rumours were true. We were after him and that.
I think it was because he was doing a tactical analysis with Rio Ferdinand, and he talked about Zubimendi. He did talk about him, so it was.
So
true.
imagine we got him. I think we would have wrapped up a few more trophies, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so.
He's just one guy, bro.
I know people don't rate him now because of what they've seen in the recent weeks and all that stuff, but you never know what you could do in a new club, guys. With the better players, you know what I mean, JK? It's a different place, isn't it? You got better players.
Yeah, a different place.
Fabinho was class, man. I miss him, man. I really miss Fabinho, Edward. I really do, because he's the enforcer, innit? He was the enforcers, and he could play football as well at the same time. Some of the chips he used to do. Remember that, JK, over the top balls for the play for Mane to score and things like that. I miss that, man. Really miss that. I disagree with a number of your points, Fozzy. Okay, what do you disagree with? That's a straightforward thing to me. So what do you disagree with, brother? What do you disagree with? Let me know. Big up, M, man. Big up, brother.
I'm Gato, bless, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Diaz scored as well. So Diaz and Gapco both scored.
Wow. Diaz's goal was good, though, to be fair. MK. Diaz was a good goal against Alisson, believe it or not. It was in the bottom corner. And Alisson, I think, got a concussion after that as well. So Hopefully he'll be all right. Yeah, he got a concussion. He was taken out the game.
Okay. Kelleher. Yeah.
Go on, bro.
Yeah, Kelleher played as well yesterday. They won 2-1. He played for Ireland. Okay, I hope Alisson. So that means if he's got concussion, he can't play for a week or something, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that.
They have to stay out for
Protocol,
a bit. Yeah, protocols. Yeah. Realism says they don't want to get to the next level. The level is top 4 and nothing more. The rest is a bonus. Yeah, in my honest opinion. Yeah,
exactly. Me and you agree on that, realism.
Yeah,
that's one
I
thing
want to remain until Dara tells me what he disagrees with, man. I can't believe it, man. I can't believe he disagrees with me. But listen, each to their own, man. It's no problem, Dara. It's no problem, brother.
We can get Dara on one day as well. Like he's been on.
It's all about the guys that support the channel, bro.
Everyone's
more than welcome to come on, man. No problem. Yeah, JK, when are you on next, bro? What are you doing in the next project, bro?
I think today with 12 man we're going to do a show, and then over the weekend we're trying to get a show out as well. Because it's all like international break. I think we're after the Newcastle game, that energy everyone had is sort of dying out every day now. It's like it's going away. You know that feeling that we had. That was horrible, bro. That was like probably the worst week in a while. That one.
I couldn't believe you guys. You guys like you just disappeared. That's wow.
Bro, we were like gutted, man. Like, come on, you win 1-0 up at home at Anfield to PSG, and then you're playing a Newcastle team who ain't like for me the best in the world. They're all right, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, both games should have been wrapped up. And when you get nothing out of both games, that's gonna ruin your mood, isn't it? That's gonna ruin it.
Yeah. Listen, we've got like a big trophy to fight for at the end of the day, guys. Like we've got 9 games to go. 9 finals, isn't it? 9 finals. We win our game.
The Everton game is big time now. Like I can't wait for that game actually.
Yeah.
I just wish the bonus is the weekend they come back, the players, we got no game.
Yeah.
It's the FA Cup weekend, and that is for me real sort of good news. It'll give us 3 days, 4 days, or it's on a Wednesday we're playing, I think. Yeah, we're playing Wednesday. That'll give us 4 or 5 days, to get ready for that Everton game. And it ain't that far as well. It's in down the road.
Mm-hmm. Here's Dara. He's back. Let me see what he's saying. Next time I'm on, I want you to come on, Dara. Explain to me why you don't agree with me. Big up the likes. Big up.
Transfers age.
Okay. There we go. Transfers, age, FSG, expectations. Happy to come on. Okay. Shall we bring him on? JK?
Just bring him on, Dara. Come on, bro.
Where is he? Like, I can't do it on the, obviously. Let's do it, man. Okay. Have you got his contact number?
Only Brian has.
Yeah. Get his contact number in the future. Anyone wants to come on before we go? We'll have your say. Come on, guys. Yeah. There's the link. Anyone wants to come on? Go for it. Go on, Dara, man. Go on, Dara. Let's have a little debate, brother. Let's have a little debate.
But for me, number one is Virgil, Salah, both the best players in the world in their positions right now. They could play another 2 years minimum at Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah.
So for me, that's no quarrel there. There for me, it's not even worth thinking about. Van Dijk is the defense. Salah is the attack. Yeah. And if you're willing to let them 2 guys walk out on a free, you're more stupid than I thought they are, the owners. But for me, I think they're working to give them a contract. I believe they don't want to lose all 3. Yeah. In my opinion.
Yeah. Listen, like what they said was as well, the fan base will go mad if they leave and all that stuff. But Klopp's left. I don't see anyone getting angry about that. We moved on quick, So I'm not a believer that, some fans will get angry, but I don't think the majority will get angry. I think
they will, bro. I think
look at the character of Klopp. Look at the character of Klopp, mate. It says a lot.
But that was one. I just feel because it was one guy, like when Torres left, Suarez, Coutinho, and all these type of guys. Yeah, it hurt and stuff. But what it is, bro, this is the spine of the team we're talking about now. It's a different ball game. It's a total different level of what we're talking about. What FSG do, letting players over 30 go, and this, that, and the other, bro. Sometimes to keep your business in shape, you gotta do things that you normally don't do, and to keep your business in shape, bro. And I think I'm not a big fan of this age thing because for me, Salah at the age of 32, Salah is now, yeah.
32.
At the age of 32, he finally got to where he's always wanted to be, the best player in the world. And he got there at the age of 32.
Yeah. He'll be 33 in June. So a few months.
There you go.
He'll be 33. So
And he's played this well. Yeah.
Yeah, Dara, come on, man. I got that thing for you. You're gonna come on.
Yeah, happy to come on, he said. Yeah, so the link's there, Dara. You can just come on.
Yeah, get him in the group innit, afterwards. Get his number if you can. Get him in the LRFC group. You know the group where we have. The big one. The big one on top.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah. Him on the window.
Virgil played as well yesterday in defence.
Yeah.
Hato got sent off.
Oh damn. Yeah. I tried to watch it, but I just couldn't get the right link to it towards the game. It wasn't like on YouTube. Normally they put on YouTube nowadays, don't they? The games and that.
Yeah, sometimes they do, yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't find
Are England playing today, are they?
I think so. It should be. Big up Dustin.
Kwanzaa and Jones are there, aren't they?
Yeah, Konate is injured, isn't he? As well. So
yeah, I read that.
He's becoming a regular at Liverpool now.
I'm telling you the truth, me and 12 last season at the end of it were willing to let Konate leave. I think he weren't doing great, always injured.
Yeah.
On his day, when he's at his best, he's a top player. But then you have moments where he's really bad.
Yeah.
And injured. Injuries come quite a lot.
Is it me or has Konate dropped a bit this now? Like compared
in the past,
Konate,
since his injury,
I might be seeing it wrong, but recently I think he's not the Konate that we've seen in the beginning of the season. It's just something's not right with him, in my opinion, anyway.
Something's not right with him recently. I remember when he was injured. Just now, recently, when he came back, he couldn't find his feet, bro. For games, he couldn't find his feet. As soon as a player can't find his feet, that means something's not right. Curtis Jones is one of them guys. Darwin, Gravenberch, and Konate. They're the four guys who have had even Gakpo coming back from injury right now. He couldn't find his feet in the games he came on as sub.
Yeah.
So for me, when a player can't find his feet, something needs to be sorted there. And I think he was sort of rushing Konate back. Why? Because he didn't want to play Kwanzaa there at the back with Virgil.
I don't trust him now.
So he's ready. He's willing to play a half-ready Konate instead of a fully fit Kwanzaa, bro. That for me is suicide.
It's worrying. It's worrying, bro.
That's what I'm thinking about Slot. I think sometimes he don't use his common sense in the way of going against what he believes in sometimes.
That's why I said an experienced coach, especially a British one or something like that around the Premier League would have helped, I think, mate. Because, you know, when you come into a new league, especially from a Dutch league and all that stuff, you won't understand everything, you know what I mean? So if you have someone alongside you that's British, it would have helped him, I think. I honestly think that. Yeah. Big up, Dara.
How we doing? Sorry about that. I was having a shave.
I need to shave myself, as you can see, bro. How are you, man? How are you? Good?
Yeah, bless her, Dara.
Yeah, how you doing? It was difficult to talk when I've got shaving foam around my chops. Yeah, I'm good. We're back to nice dry weather here.
Yeah. Where are you from? Where are you exactly at? Sorry, mate.
I'm originally from the southeast of England, Canterbury. Yeah, born and bred there. And I moved here. So I'm in Arizona right now, around the corner from 12th.
Oh, nice.
Although he likes to keep himself, he's kind of like the Scarlet Pimpernel, so we never know where he's at. But I could track him down if I really wanted to.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have something to eat with 12 there,
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't done that yet. But yeah, I'm sure one day. There are a few Liverpool bars over here, but it's surprising, really, because there's a Tottenham bar that I know, and there's a few Chelsea bars, quite a few Arsenal bars. I mean, they call them, Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham bars, but it's not the same as being back home. So. But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you were saying. Just going back to my points, my biggest one would be the transfers and age. So I look at that in a different way. So I get the 30, 32, 35, let's say, in particular, we're talking about Salah. Number one, I think our expectations of what a 32 to 35-year-old could achieve should be different to what they were generations ago. A number of factors, whether it's nutrition, whether it's fitness, training, medical science, so on and so forth. So I don't see it as that kind of risk when you have a proven goal scorer. Whether he's the best in the world or not, he's certainly shown this season that he probably is. I don't see it as that much of a risk, even if you sign him for 3 years and you spend, I don't know, 30 to 40 million on him in terms of wages. It's all about context. And when you think about context, we're happy to blow 70 odd million on Nunez, who's half his age, literally, and have him sit there and pay his wages. They may be less. However, when you look at the outlay, you are willing to acquiesce and allow him to still be on the bench. So it has to be context. What has, even when we signed him, what did Nunez really bring? A very mediocre scoring record in a poor league. And he's been with us, 3 years now? And what has he brought? Nothing. So you can't just use age, and you can't just use other factors, let's say money, when you can counter that argument quite easily with a proven track record. The amount of money, I mean, I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I would say that we probably sell more Mo Salah shirts than we do Darwin Núñez shirts. So many other factors that, I just put age there as a number. So it has to be taken into context. So that was the main thing. FSG, if you have any expectations of FSG, then, we've all known for a number of years, and I'm going back, I can go back to 74, but I won't. But let's stick with the franchises and the Gillette and Hicks horror show. Nothing's going to ever change there. So I don't even bother. I'm like JK on that. It's not something I even concern myself with. So that's just my main point on transfers. So it's going to be interesting. But like I said earlier, for me, Everton is the biggest game. I don't see it as us being in potentially a mess. At the end of the day, I know we were outplayed by FSG, but over the 2 legs, it was a draw. We lost on a penalty shootout. Newcastle game, I agree there should have been changes, and I called for the changes, and I said it would be a 2-1 win to Newcastle before the game, and lo and behold, it was. But just the Premier League. And the other thing I would just bring up is you were talking about we don't want players that are in their 20s seeing this with the contract debacle. They already know. They're well versed in it through their agents, through media. It's a different generation. They already know that this kind of thing is going on. I know it's probably a more exaggerated degree in that we've got 3 of our key players, but it's nothing new to them. So they have to have realistic expectations. And if they think that going into a football club like Liverpool, things like this don't happen, then I wouldn't want them at the club anyway. They need to know that this is the real world. Unfortunately, whether I agree with it or not is another debate. So Just nuances on what you were saying. So not
No,
whole.
listen, each to their opinions, isn't it? I'm not here to disagree. Everybody has their own opinions when they talk about football. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I see it in one way. Some people see it in a different way, and I respect that wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? And as I said about Trent, you know what I mean, this is his last big contract at Liverpool Football Club. You know what I mean? That's what he's thinking about. And when he reaches 30, and everybody knows how Michael Edwards work, he doesn't do over 30s in the long-term contracts. We know that when he was there, he left because of disagreements with Klopp as well. So Trent, asking questions ain't a bad thing. You know what I mean? The ambition of the club, Dara. Like if he's asking,
Oh no, I agree. I
if
agree.
he's
No.
asking,
That's one point. No, I 100% agree. That's.
okay.
I mean, to me, that's kind of lip service. That's the kind of thing you would expect. For example, that is just typical of a manager that comes onto an interview in a post-match game. First thing he's going to say is, "Well, I'm only thinking about the next game." I mean, that's standard. It's read off a script. He's not going to say, well, I don't really care, and so on and so forth. He's going to say that because he's trying to sell himself. So I don't really give that any credence. That's just my expectation of anybody. I mean, you don't go for an interview with a new job, or you want to renew a contract, which is basically what he's doing, and say things that have some sort of negative connotation. So he's not going to say, well, I don't see us going anywhere in the next 2-3 years because of PSG, because of the Carabao Cup, and so on and so forth. So
and as to what you alluded to about the age of the players and all that stuff, if you remember Liverpool in the 70s, 80s, and etc., the success.
I watched them in the 70s and the 80s.
So you do remember what they used to do? They used to like buy players, younger players, that's gonna obviously replace the senior players in the team, and they still have a resale value. You know what I mean? The Keegans of this world, the Jimmy Cases of this world, Souness of this world, and then you replace them to continue the success continuously like this. You know what I mean? Rolling it over. That's what because I don't see our ownership ever spending 200 million every summer or every other summer. You know what I mean? So this is why I say at the age of the players, maybe we've got to consider in the future at a certain age, have a resale value on them, get the players that's already going to replace them under them, like for the few years before they leave. And then, you replace them. That's the way Liverpool at their time, I think, in my opinion, Dara, we was way ahead of our, opponents. We was way ahead of time in football terms, because the way we maintained success was a genius move, especially, the way we replace the managers as well. So this is what I want to see. Like, I know it's a different time. Everybody talks about that. But if we're not spending a lot of money, we're always begging every summer for money. You know what I mean, Dara? If you look at the way we operate and all that stuff. So maybe this way can get the success back to Liverpool. But as for the contracts, I'm all about, 1 year extension on performances, because I know what you said about the nutrition and all that stuff about the players' ages and that stuff, but we don't know, bro. We don't know how footballers are gonna feel in the next 2 years. We don't because things can change. You know what I mean? So at least if you give them a year extension on performances, it's okay, because if they don't perform to the levels that you need them to anymore, then you could move them on quicker. You don't have to worry about paying them out with a large amount of money, because Liverpool paying out money is more what do you call it? It's more deficient. It's like a deficient, like it's a bad way of money going in towards other things. You know what I mean? They always have this financial way of thinking. If we're spending money out of other things, it's going to affect us. It's like what's happened with Jurgen Klopp recently. I think they've got £50 million deficit or something like that. They've had recently. They lost about £50 million because they were paying Jurgen Klopp out. You know what I mean? And it affects the finance of the club in regards to transfers and etc. This is what I'm trying to say is like risk. Just don't take too many risks in things. You know what I mean? That's gonna
like Nunes. Like Nunes.
No, Nunes is Nunes, isn't it? They took a risk and it didn't work. You know what I mean? It didn't work. Let's just be honest there. Like
and what I'm saying to you is put it in context. So you say you don't know. We don't know that about any player. Let's talk about what we do know. We have a world-class player with a proven track record.
Yeah.
So that's what we do know, and that's what I focus on. And I do hear a lot of talk about finances. what we should do is build on what we already have, and rather than keep replacing. That's not the model. And going back to the 70s and 80s, what I really liked is we internationalized Liverpool in terms of we expanded players from mainly Scotland, Ireland, the home nations.
Yeah.
That hadn't really been seen before, and we built on that. So yeah, we did revolutionize, but what we want and what FSG want are two different things. What they want is to build on what you were talking about, and I see that. Let's
Unfortunately,
cash in. Let's cash in
Mm.
while we can, and replace with younger players, and we can continue doing that. And it's an ongoing cycle. I look at it in terms of what I think is best for Liverpool. So that's the fundamental
Yeah,
difference.
that's the two different things. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
how it's just what-
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's a different point of view as opposed to a necessarily a disagreement. So I see your point of view. That's just mine.
Listen, Dara, it's great to have you on, and we're discussing.
Oh,
this.
I'm honored to be on. Thank you.
I don't think a
appreciate
lot
it.
of people discuss that. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it's true what we're saying. It's a business now. It's no more like it's not all about passion and all that stuff like we used to have. We're involved in a business, unfortunately, and this is how these people see it. So
they're involved in a business. I'm not.
Of course, you're not, but that's what they do. This is the owners that we have. You know what I mean? And until they leave Liverpool Football Club, it's still going to continue like this.
I'll work my magic this end. See what I can do. How about that?
Go to the head office and just tell them, start.
Yeah, I've got some pull over here. I got some connections, Fozzie. Don't worry about that.
It's time to go and go around and tell them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna issue them with a warrant. Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it. So anyway, so
they
are
should
you
be happy that they've reached a level of success money wise and just take it and go? It's like I don't think they're going to make the club any richer. Like, do you think Liverpool going to be worth 7-8 million? The only way they can do that is they dominate for the next 5-6 years. They can increase the value of the club. For me, the price they'll get now, 4 or 5 billion, they should just take that, because for me, they're sort of, I wouldn't say they're just putting obstacles in the way for the manager to run it smoothly. They don't let the managers run it smoothly. Like Klopp, I used to see Klopp sometimes, and I'm thinking, okay, even Slot now, the week he just had where we lost them 2 games, you could have offered him even Belieber from Brighton, the DM who plays there. Imagine we got him in and he played that PSG game and the Newcastle game and he put a shift in because we had legs in that midfield. Do you think Slot would have said no? I don't think he would have. Because for me, as a manager, you want to win and you want success. Why? Your portfolio goes up and you make more money in the future. And I don't think sometimes the owners give the managers the best potential to do that. And I don't think the owners want to really dominate football. Like the Man City owners, they're straight away, we want to dominate British football. They've done it. Look how many league titles they've won, 6, 7 with Pep. That's domination. And our owner's not built like that for me.
No, I agree, but this age thing really it's been a bugbear for years. Back in the day, players were too young, one for the future. What the hell does that mean? Michael Owen comes in. Michael Owen comes in at the age. He comes in at the age of 16 and changes the world. Certainly, Liverpool Football Club and the England team. So, but we hear one for the future. We're talking about Kirkes, yeah. If you look at his stats, they are miles behind Kirkes. Sorry, Robinson, yeah. And Robinson's 27, so that doesn't fit our model. So when you look at that,
that's true.
Are we really losing out on potential because of this obsession with age?
It's going to change for me, Dara, as well. Like, for me, you can't let a guy who's the best player in the world right now, for me, Salah's the best player in the world this season, and Virgil, best centre-back in the world, no questions asked. And you're letting them guys go. Why? Because they're over 30.
Don't forget, it's for free. It's not like we're getting finance either.
We're not even getting no money for it. Yeah, the wages are gone, so they'll be saving $1 million a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the one thing.
They'll be saving a bloody $1 million a week. Hence why they might say, you know what, Joe, if they let them 3 go, it's gonna be messy.
Dara, I didn't ask you, like, where do you stand with the FSG thing?
Well, They're just a chip off Gillette and Hicks. There's no difference to me.
No
And
difference. I said
you know,
exactly the same thing. I said that as well. There's no
okay,
difference.
so whatever money they cream off the top
Mm-hmm.
of our success, they'll buy another franchise, whether it's the Penguins or reinvest in the Red Sox, which is probably not the case. They'll buy something else. I don't know, basketball team. Let's go and buy NBA team or whatever. That's what they do. So
Yeah,
they're happy.
you know the thing that you hear every single time, sustainability and all that stuff. Do you believe in that stuff? When they're saying like they put the money back into Liverpool, they don't really take it out of Liverpool.
No, I don't. I think what they need to do is they need to show passion like we do. That's what they need to do. That's all we want. Yeah, you can put finances into a club, but we've seen it with so many other teams that are, let's say, the lesser teams. We've seen it with the likes of Everton, the likes of Villa, so many other clubs. We're seeing it now with Bournemouth, whatever. But we see their owners actually show passion. And to me, that speaks volumes. And I don't see that. So sustainability, what does that even mean?
What does that mean? That's what I always ask these people that tell me.
We don't want sustainability. We want dominance.
Exactly, mate. Spot on, man. Dustin says we need to buy players just to take the pressure off Slot's squad. Yeah, we've been saying that since the beginning of the season, mate. You know what I mean? And we don't. If we had, the squad depth, I don't think we'll be in this position. I'm sure you two agree with me. If we had swap around the players during the season,
I think we have squad depth. I just believe the manager didn't have the balls to use that squad depth in the week we needed him to use that squad depth. And I just see it like that. Like for me, Chiesa came on, scored against Newcastle. Bro, he just looked electric. And a lot of fans said, why are we giving him game time? For me, Chiesa, a guy who can do that. He was needed in the PSG game, Chiesa.
Yeah.
He was needed. And Elliot, for me, he comes on, always looks forward. Always looks like I want to do something. It isn't like, get the ball, pass it back, get the ball, pass it back. No. Jones came on. So for me, it was Slot not picking the extra guys in the squad to do a job for the guys who were the first 11 who couldn't do the job. Gravenberch and Sabotslow for me. Both of them guys shouldn't have started that Newcastle game.
Jota too.
Jota as well. Them three, Jota, I said that as well. Right. Them three shouldn't have started that Newcastle game. That was for me suicide. I'm starting Endo, maybe Curtis and Darwin. That's how bad them three have been in that week. The PSG game, them three non-existent. Same again against Newcastle. And now Gravenberch is injured with Holland training. That's just accumulation of tiredness.
And Konate as well.
Konate is injured as well.
And then Alisson came off with a concussion as well. So it's all happening now. But hopefully they'll be all right when they come back.
Yeah, we've got 2 weeks approximately,
As Edward says there, was it Konate? Okay.
How do you feel about the Everton game? For me, that's the biggest game of the season because number one, we owe them. We owe them, and nothing would give me more satisfaction after they've got their wonderful new stadium for them to come to us and then lose. That would just be beautiful.
Yeah,
celebrating as if they've beaten us 10-0 and they get a point from the game. They've done that too many times, and I'm not an Everton hater, never have been. They're good for the Premier League, as dare I say it, the Uniteds of the world. But
true.
Just to put the nail in the coffin again, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. We've got a few tough games compared to Arsenal, in my opinion. I think we've got the tougher games. We just what do we need? Like 5 games probably to win the league. So
I think it's 4 or 5. But however, a lot of those games that they have,
and they're gonna drop points. We're forgetting they're gonna drop points as well. Hopefully, you know what I mean.
Absolutely, and most of their games are London derbies.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Chelsea, Fulham, Brentford. They've got as well. I remember the list went through.
Yep.
They have to win all their games to stand a chance.
Yeah.
Even like for me, the league was wrapped up the weekend when they lost to West Ham 1-0.
Yes.
And we won the next day. For me, since then, so hence why I was really looking forward to the League Cup final and the Champions League push. And I think Slot got it wrong. I just feel as soon as that weekend happened, he should have something just should have clicked in his head, thinking, you know what, I've got to be really clever now.
Is it me, or do you guys think he should have went with the team that beat City in the second game?
For me, exactly.
More defensive, more cautious.
Midfieldish.
Yeah, midfieldish. That's what I'm trying to say, guys. Dominate.
Because for me, Jota weren't working. Hence why you could sacrifice Jota and play at Jones in that midfield. Yeah. You know what I mean, bro? Number 9s haven't worked all season, really. So you could sort of offer that role up to a midfield guy to help Gravenberch to Szoboszlai, who was sort of leggy anyway.
Yeah. That's what I thought. You know what I mean? Because considering like the first leg, how difficult it was, we should have just went cautious in that game, in the second game, and played more midfielders in that game and be more dominant in it, JK, and then get them tired, and then bring on the attackers at the end of the game if the actual scoreline is the same, if you know what I mean, brother, and we could get another goal. But yeah, he chose to go with attacking again, and it just failed in my opinion. Listen, he's learning on the job, unfortunately, guys. You know what I mean? And I can't fault him for this season, to be fair. You know what I mean? I didn't expect us to do anything remotely close to what we're doing right now. So, yeah.
I agree with you. And a classic example of that is the Carabao Cup is and has been since the days of the League Cup and the Milk Cup and the Coca-Cola Cup and the Carling Cup and whatever. It's always been less of a tournament than the FA Cup. Yes. Yet he played stronger teams in the Carabao Cup than he did when we played Plymouth. So I think that shows his knowledge of that specific cup competition. And it was exposed. So I agree with you, Fozzie. I think he's going to learn from that.
Yeah. I think people are jumping the gun, Dara. I think, the disappointments from the fan base. And I mean, I think it's well, Dara and JK. I think our fan base needs to start playing a part. I don't know if you guys noticed, the fans don't feel Anfield doesn't feel the same. Even the away games don't feel the same. I don't think we're loud enough like we used to be anymore. In this season, especially, I don't know if you agree with me, guys. It feels weird. It feels very strange being around Liverpool now. Like, is it the expectance of the fans that's changed things, or why are we so quiet? I don't understand. Even after the Newcastle game, I got a lot of friends that came after the game and they said it was just quiet. Nobody was singing. Like, Newcastle shouted us. They outdone us in every way, not just on the pitch, even off the pitch, like in the stands. Is there something wrong with us, or am I seeing it different, guys? Sorry.
Yeah, it's too many prawn sandwiches, I think. What I will say is this: I don't think it's fair to compare Newcastle, because if you've ever been to St James's Park, the atmosphere is incredible.
Oh, incredible!
So, and people that talk about us having the most exuberant fans and whatever, we are certainly one of the top fan bases, but Newcastle are up there too. So I think it's maybe complacency, again, going back to expectations, and also going back to what I was saying about the FA Cup, just quickly. We all know that there's no such thing as just progressing using kids. We all remember the games against Bristol City, Bradford City. We can go down the list. We've seen it all before. Slot hasn't. So he's learning from that. But no, I would definitely agree with you about the fan base. However, I still respect the fan base for going, spending their hard-earned money, doing things that I would love to do. But I respect them for that. And I mean, it's not easy to get so much disappointment at the same time, like we did. So, but Newcastle, they are exceptional, their fan base. So I respect them too.
Darryl, what do you think what I said? I spoke to JK about it already. Of course, he was in the chat at the time when I said what I took out of that Newcastle game is more positives than negatives, because if we perform like that against Newcastle, similar to the PSG game, it's the fatigue that's got to the players. It's not actually how bad they are, because everybody thought PSG was that good against us. But if we played the same way against Newcastle as well, it's nothing to do with, the players' performances in regards to quality. It was just, they're just fatigued. That's what I said. I don't know if you agree with that. That's the positives I took out of the Newcastle game. because it's two similar games, if you know what I mean, back to back.
I think the issues were more complex than that. I think it was definitely a certain element of fatigue. But I definitely think that Slot was very, very slow to make changes. So I think his tactical switches, and not only that, his starting lineup. So when you combine all of that plus fatigue, because they are intertwined, aren't they? He's starting players that we already know shouldn't really be playing. Gravenberch, for example. Jota, we know that he couldn't hit a barn door from a yard right now. The list goes on, but he's starting them. And not only are they not playing well, they are also fatigued. So it's a combination of factors, but Slot should have realized that before the game and 100% during the game. He didn't. So there are some positives because we can look to those things, because you know how there are games. I remember one game at White Hart Lane. I went there and I was staying in Edmonton, going back to the early 90s. And we absolutely destroyed Spurs. And we lost 2-0. And I thought, how did we lose that game? So you couldn't really see a way that we could improve. With the Newcastle game and the PSG game, we can pick a number of ways that we could improve. So those would be the positives we can see.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was what you were saying. I missed it.
No, but it's very good, mate. Like it's you know, obviously it's all around, isn't it? It's not just one thing like we're looking at. So that's why I got. That's why I said. That's why I had more. I was more optimistic than, you know, many of our fan base after the Newcastle game. We've got a lot of work ahead, but I know the quality. If this was at the beginning of the season, Dara and JK, I think we would have beat both of them. I honestly think that it's just like it's the way we're moving at the moment, not utilizing the squad in a proper way.
I agree, but let's also let's also put it in context, which I think a lot of people don't are not doing. We lost to arguably one of the best teams in Europe, and we lost on penalties. Over the two legs, we drew. We lost by one goal in a final that, you know, it was contentious. Yeah, we got outplayed. However, that happens. That happens in life. You know, I'm a big boxing fan. The amount of times I've seen boxers go in there and they get beaten up and then just one punch and that's it. They're knocked on their backside. So, it happens.
It happens.
100%. Let's just read out the comments before we go, guys. Konate was awful in France game. He says he was subbed off. Realism says, I didn't watch the games. I don't. International football and me ain't together anymore, guys. Let me just put it that way. I don't enjoy it like I used to anymore. I mean, Liverpool, and that's it. Dustin says, sometimes I think Slot needs 4 more players like Mac that just ball out with that coaching. Yeah, I agree.
Like leaders,
leaders, 100%. Because I think what they said is McAllister takes instructions very well when it's put onto him from the coach. He takes it. He's the best at taking instructions from what I've heard, guys. So yeah, that's the Dara. Well said about the context and transfers. Age was money on the bench, hardly adding to the games. Yes, man. Dara is popular, man. There's another one for you, Dara, over there, mate. Well said about the context transfers, of course. Dara, well said about the context transfers. Age wasted money on the bench. That is hardly adding to the games. Yep, it's weird, that, isn't it? Big up, Wild Dead Wolf. Big up, brother. I hope everything is well with you.
I just had one quick question before I let you go, and thanks again.
You're always welcome, mate. You're always welcome.
I appreciate it. It's not often I get a day off. I spend most of my time behind bars, but KJ will tell you about that. No one's really spoken about why Kelleher started in goal in that final.
That was a strange one, to be fair, mate. I didn't know. I didn't ask questions about it.
No, I don't. I mean, I rate Kelleher. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just thinking, hang on.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? I'll leave that out to the chat. I
Yeah,
know
but I
I want to
understand
move
what
on.
you
I
mean.
want to move on from the Newcastle game, but I've not heard anyone really talk about that.
I think, you know what, when you look at the game though, he wasn't really needed. He did okay.
Yeah.
But for me, when you change a position, the game's going to change. So if Alisson was in goal, would it have been 2-0? Alisson, before that, let a goal in against Southampton and PSG, and he had a number of clean sheets and stuff. But I think the way Slot sort of decided is either Alisson or no one, because Alisson's played every game, and that was first game for Kelleher in a long time. So it was weird. It was weird. But even though a lot of us guys, I think 12th and that, they all said that Kelleher, they wouldn't mind him starting. He deserves it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what it is, I think.
Yeah.
But for me, he didn't really influence the game or such. He did what he needed to do.
Well, a lot of people said the Dan Burn goal, Alisson would have saved it. I don't know about that. I don't know if you guys agree with that. Do you think Alisson would have saved that?
I think he would have had a much better chance of saving it, and that's my exact point. I think his positioning would have been different. You know, and many people have said they haven't seen many goals like that with their head from that distance.
Yeah.
So, you know,
and the space he had as well. The
exactly.
amount of space.
Very strange.
Conjure up that much energy, power into that head, bro. There was no one putting him off. You know, when you got someone just sort of putting their shoulder into you, you can't get that much power, bro. He was generating power for that header. He had all day, bro. He could have made a brew.
Yeah, I think absolutely. But when you talk about goalkeeping, you're also talking about the more extraneous elements. I think Alisson is better equipped at marshalling his defense.
Yes,
I see that. So, you know, I know it's ifs and buts, but when I watch Alisson and I watch Kelleher, don't get me wrong, I rate Kelleher highly, but I think Alisson is, you just see him being, you know, we use this word leader. He is a leader and he marshals his defense. And would he have seen Burns there in that position and say, hang on, we have McAllister marking him. I don't care about zonal marking and man for man and a mixture like Slot does. Would he have seen that?
He would have. Don't forget, there was 2 warnings before that goal.
There were.
Exactly.
People actually forget that. There was 2 warnings before that goal. So Alisson would have spotted it straight away. He would have told someone else to mark him instead of obviously.
He would have pretty marked him. He would have like, hey, McAllister, get the gloves. I'll go mark him. You know what I mean?
Wild Dead Wolf says, so Nunes gone, shame. Gomez gone, good. Diaz, Barca, maybe bring on Summer. Yeah, listen.
But sometimes you know what it is, though, bro? The only thing I'm not happy about is the way us fans are already splitting up the whole squad. It's like these guys have gave us the top season, you know what I mean? They still got a bit of work to do.
Exactly, bro. But the thing is,
we win the Premier League, we're happy.
JK, how sure? The thing is, how sure are you they'll get? There's going to be incomings if you release these players. You know what I mean? How sure are you? You know what I mean? I've heard so many people say players to leave in the past, like Ronaldo and all that stuff, and then when they left and they didn't bring anyone in, I wish he didn't leave now. You know what I mean? That's
you go.
I mean, so like, you got to understand, you got to be careful in these areas because if the owners let go of players, it doesn't mean there's anything coming in return. So you got to be careful with things like that.
And that's why even if they allow Darwin to leave in the summer, they'll get that money and they'll be like, it's all right, we got Yota.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Bang, there you go.
Bournemouth took out as we have bought from you before. Oh, God, Bournemouth. Let me just go down in the chat. Sorry about that, guys. I know it's been a while. Obviously, we had a great conversation with Dara, myself, and Jacob, of course. Nunes did work, just didn't give us more goals. Just unlucky, bit like Solanke. Yeah, listen, hard work helps if you're a midfielder or something like that. But if you're a striker, we bought you for 85 million. You need the goals, man. You need the goals. Realism says football is a business, but Real Madrid make damn sure it matters on the pitch. That's Real Madrid because, you know, the king of Madrid and, you know, Spain, you know, helps them out. That's what it is, guys. That's what they got. They got that backing, if you know what I mean. We don't have that backing. Let's be real.
But they are very clever in the transfer market because of their success. They allow players to finish their contracts and come and join them on and give them good wages. Yeah. So that's their sort of module because their model it works because success on the pitch over the years accumulates them to do that, bro. Exactly. And that's why I say about our owners, They've never thought like that, thinking, you know what? The more we win, the more money our club's going to be worth when we want to sell it. It's just
100%.
common sense. That's just common business sense. Put a bit of money into it and get a better rewards at the end of it, you know?
Yeah. It's like what Del Wolf says, let's be real. They owe nothing. They let the club run. That's life, bro. Yeah. You're talking about, is he talking about FSG? I think he's talking about FSG.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's FSG for you, if you know what I mean. Guys, where, Dara, where do you actually, other than obviously here, where do you actually go? What channels do you go? Is it 12 Man's and is there other channels?
Brian's
to find you?
Irishman.
Yeah, I watch a lot. To be honest, I'm not on them for very long because a lot of, I mean, I don't know, but I really like the way, Fozzie, that you interact with the chat, because to me, if I was to be, I can't because of work, but if I had my own show like you do,
Yeah.
I would do what you do, and a lot don't. They just talk amongst themselves, and they don't pause and interact with the chat. And there is a lot of toxicity there, and when you hear it and you can't respond, for example, you gave me the opportunity to come and express my views. You know, that is critical to not only building it, whether my views are based on facts or not. That is so important, but there aren't many. But in answer to your question, I do watch a lot of other channels. I'll just go from one to another. I like watching a few of the Arsenal ones, a few of the West Ham ones, but Liverpool ones, yeah, mainly. I suppose Brian, and it's down to timing. 12th, I don't really go on very often, or for very long, because of work commitments. And let me think, are there any others? No, I mean, I used to be involved in Anfield Agenda back in the day.
Yeah.
I was their head mod when they only had, I think, about, I don't know, maybe 30 odd thousand. I know they're a lot bigger now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So.
You're very good, man. Dara, you're very, very good at what you say, man. You're always welcome here.
I appreciate that. I've not been on. I go to Bayesian Reds as well now and again. I've seen some of their input. There's another one. I think it's All Red Forever. Another American over here. 12 knows him. He's got his own show. There's quite a few. But like I said, that being able to interact is yeah. Don't that would be my advice. Don't ever lose that, because it's critical, because there's some very knowledgeable people in the chat, and yeah, they love to be involved.
Yeah, I've always said it, like, you know what I mean. You come on the chat, if you're gonna come on, just say so, man. You're more than welcome. And if the channel picks up eventually one day, we'll just send a link. We'll just have a few days of people in the chat just coming on the channel and just chatting to us. We'll just talk about Liverpool Football Club and all that stuff. So
yeah, is that your number one? I mean, other than Liverpool, do you follow any other sports?
I do boxing. I love boxing.
Well, there you go. We got something in common.
Got something in common, innit? And all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm a massive boxing fan, just like Nilante.
Yeah. Yeah, boxing. I'll go back, way back with that as well. And I watch wrestling still, even at this age. I still watch wrestling, WWF.
Yeah,
not WWE, WWF.
Oh, it was Big Daddy for me back in the day, and Giant
Haystack. Yeah.
Yes.
I actually went to see them, both of them.
Okay.
Okay. So
I want to see. I've always wanted to see Dara in Madison Square Garden. I've always wanted to go there just to watch, probably the Knicks or something like that. But luckily, the time I was there, Raw was there, so I went to watch Raw, and I saw Stone Cold Steve Austin on the stage. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
It was weird. Like, it was a coincidence. He wasn't meant to be there, but he was there for some reason.
Right.
It's something that I do a bucket list. You know what I mean? I want to do in my life, and one day I want to go see WrestleMania. I've never seen that in my life, so that's another thing. And this year I went to America. Believe it or not, I want to see Liverpool play Arsenal in Philadelphia as well.
Okay.
So, I do a lot of stuff. Recently, I want to see Liverpool versus Lille. and I met Mr. Steve Staunton. You know Steve Staunton, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Very nice guy. I didn't even know he was a Liverpool fan. I knew he was, obviously he played for Liverpool, so he's one of my favorite left backs that we used to have. But I didn't know he was an actual fan. He was an actual fan of Liverpool as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sounds like you've been to a few places, so you should come out to the Southwest.
Mate,
and explore Arizona. Here's a great place because we're not far from Vegas. We have a lot of big fights in Phoenix. Obviously, Madison Square Garden's the other side of the country. But yeah, lots and lots of big fights here. That's the only thing about when Liverpool do their preseason warm-ups. They're always on the East Coast. I think the furthest west they go, I think, is maybe Dallas or somewhere like that.
Yeah.
But even that is a fair distance from where I'm located. So it's a good chance.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I'm a traveler, man. I used to work in America for a camp.
Oh, really?
Doing football for kids.
Oh, right. Well, whereabouts?
In Pennsylvania, Huntsdale. I was there for a couple of years. I was just coaching kids. You know, they used to, I don't know if you know about what they do in America. They come to countries, don't they? And they recruit people to go down there and work for them every summer and all that stuff. So I used to go down there. And
yeah, I do know. I almost did it myself. Best
experience. Let me just put it there, Dara. I recommend that. You meet, like you just think you're gonna meet Americans, but you meet people from all around the world. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I loved it, man. Loved every minute of it. I done it at a later age when I was 28 and all that stuff. I wish I'd done it when I was younger. It would have been more, more in my time kind of thing. When you're younger, it would be great. You know what I mean? But I still enjoyed it, at that age, because there's two people around my age at that time going to it as well. Yeah, man, it's brilliant. And funny enough, the kids from those times, they're all working in Wall Street and all these places in New York, and I still meet up with them when I go to New York a lot as well. So it's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's certainly evolving here. It's certainly evolving. Talking about sport, I couldn't believe it. Only a month or maybe 6 weeks ago, one of my sons at his high school, they've started playing cricket. Can you believe that?
Wow.
I never thought I'd see the day. They have a cricket camp. So
because India play games in America.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. Yeah.
It's mayhem, bro. The Indians on a mad one, man.
Yeah, it is. In terms of local football, the only team I have really is the Phoenix Rising, but I mean that's almost like non-league standard. So
it's funny though. Like I don't know, you know about it, Dara. Like when I used to go down there, when I used to work in football, wasn't even like a sport they even think about it. They used to call it a girl sport. I don't know if you know.
The old soccer moms, as they call it. Yeah.
Girl sport? I said, are you joking or what? Yeah, we don't really. It's not a sport we think about. They said to me. I said, wow, you got to start thinking about it now. I mean, but nowadays they're starting to like it, and it's a good thing.
Absolutely. Just going back to the boxing, do you focus on any weight division or just general?
I just watch generally. Like if you take me, say, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, I was a regular watcher. I used to go watch, even the amateur events and all that stuff. But nowadays, it's, I don't know. The heavyweight, there's no like dominant, like remember in the old days, Dara, used to have Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mark Tyson. Used to have names around that, Riddick Bowe. Nowadays,
Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, names, big names.
Now, like you look at it, there's no rivalries like that anymore.
There isn't.
There ain't. So I watch what I can nowadays. To be fair, it's just like football. Like if you ask me 25 years ago, 30 years ago, I'll be watching football all around the world. You know what I mean, Dara? That's how it was. That's how we was raised. I mean, and there wasn't social media like it is now. So we will find out every kind of football around the world. Nowadays, it's impossible to watch that because it ain't as attractive as it used to be. In my opinion, I miss the hard tackles. I miss the art of defending. I miss the art of the sports. It just doesn't exist anymore, in my opinion. When I look,
wingers not being wingers no more.
Man.
You know what I mean, bro?
It was an art. It was a proper art. It doesn't exist anymore, to be fair.
Well, I'll tell you, just to show my age, I remember listening to the BBC to the Rumble in the Jungle. So the classic Foreman Ali's.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it was always Marvin Hagler. I loved Hagler.
Yeah, Hagler,
yeah, he was
Marvin
amazing.
Hagler.
Marvelous
Me,
Marvin.
Lennox Lewis, Prince Nassim. They were two of my favourites.
Yeah, Nassim's fight when he came over here and he fought Kevin Kelly, that was an amazing fight. That was the of the featherweight division. That was the equivalent of the Tommy Hearns and Hagler fight. That was an incredible fight. But yeah, he was he had everything mapped out, didn't he? I was surprised that the problem with Nassim was that there were so many fantastic boxers at the same time. I mean, it was like the heavyweight division in the late 60s, early 70s. Your next fight was always going to be either a Foreman, a Norton, a Frazier. I mean, there was no easy fight.
There wasn't.
So it's different to today. So
big up,
if you look at that quickly, it's like when you look at sport in general, like us guys are old school. We know the old school guys who did it. Like I was saying, if Slot was leaving today and we needed a manager, there's not one manager you say, you know what, back in the old days, there was about 10 managers you could choose from and 10 strikers and 10 centre backs. If you needed a centre back, you knew there was 10 out there who were going to be world class. Bro, for me, Virgil van Dijk's the only world class defender in the world, bro. That's how bad it is now. That's how football,
amazing, like football. You just said about Virgil. Like, look how long it took us to get someone like Virgil, like Hansen, someone like that. You know what I mean? To replace Hansen. It took us 30 years plus. You know what I mean? To get someone close to Hansen.
To get like him. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm really worried. Like after Virgil, what's to come, guys? I don't know if you even thought about that, because I'm starting to think about things like that. Like what's after Virgil? Because when Virgil came through that door, guys, Liverpool changed. I mean, we started competing. We was in a Champions League final in that half of season. He was at the football club. Don't forget as well. Yeah, man, it's gonna be difficult replacing these players, man. And I've always said it. If you got their replacement, make sure they're ready, and they're gonna be coming to Liverpool Football Club while they're still there. So under the tutelage, at least they could pass it on eventually, if you know what I mean. But
we end up utilizing two players to make up one position. We did or one player. We did exactly the same thing when Stevie G went. We never replaced him because you can't replace him. So what do? You are flexible, and that's how it works. But no, you're right. It's so difficult. I mean, but who knows? Maybe the next Sammy Hippie is around the corner. Just to help us through these times.
You're right, Dara. Because I remember when Steven Gerrard left, everybody was saying, "What we're gonna do now?" Like we was all panicking. Well, I mean, what's life after Steven Gerrard? Well, we won the Champions League, the Premier League, everything. So it can come good as well. So
absolutely.
Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope.
Absolutely. So, well, anyway, I'll love you and leave you and say thanks again for inviting me on. I've got to go and do some chores, as they say, around this place. I'm going to enjoy the sunshine. Is it? I know it's not. Well, I'm not sure where you're all at, but hopefully you're having nice weather.
Top weather now.
Yeah. My mum's still over in England, and so is all my family. So they're telling me how nice the weather is. So
my mum was telling me as well that England's nicer right now.
It's right. It's nice. The weather, it was getting darker now. I mean, I'm from East London, next to West Ham, so I'm all it's all right. It's a bit chilly,
that was one of my favorite grounds, Upton Park. I used to love. I used to love it.
I was there as a youth, I was there.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I probably was there when you were there. So I used to go to Upton Park in the late 80s. I love sitting in the Bobby Moore stand. I have not been to the new ground. Have you?
Yeah, I haven't been to the new ground, but I was at Upton Park a lot of times. I went to the actual testimony of Bobby Moore as well.
Did you? Wow.
I went to that. I was standing there. West Ham is a lovely club, man. And,
my mum
was there as a kid as well. When you're not probably there, I used to come when I used to visit my cousins every summer in London. They lived in Ilford. We'd go down to the stadium. We're like, oh, it's Upton Park. You know what I mean? Imagine you guys are around the corner, not knowing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my mum's originally from Brick Lane, and I know she went to the East End a couple of years ago, and she was telling me how it's changed so much. It's really built up and modernized,
and all that stuff.
Obviously that's a far cry from what it used to be, but there you go. I guess
We're
that's
slowly
progress.
losing the tradition, as they say. Yeah, Upton Park was beautiful, guys. I really missed that already.
I
West Ham was
loved it.
missed as
I
well.
loved it. And you
That
know
little
what?
tight
You know
stadiums, the
what?
fans on top of you, innit, and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they can, but the only thing I'll say about them is they can keep their bubbles. So
I think I want to believe it or not. I went. The last game I went to was an FA Cup game, as I remember. I think we lost. I don't know. Coutinho was playing and Klopp was ill. I don't remember. We were sitting in the West Ham stand, yeah, and me and my mate, who are Liverpool fans, both of us, we got tickets just to sit in the West Ham end. And when they scored, they were celebrating. They were looking at us. Why are you celebrating? Do you support Liverpool? No. Yeah, we support West Ham. You know, otherwise you don't have to turn on you if you say you're a Liverpool fan. We was both scared. He's like, we got to get out of here, man. I think they're finding out we're Liverpool fans. We had to go quick, man.
you know, I'll just tell you one quick story why I allude to the Newcastle fans. I went to back in the day. It must have been again early '90s. It was Newcastle Man United Charity Shield game at Wembley, and me being me, I was wearing my Liverpool shirt. And I stood amongst the Geordies, and they were, you know, other than a few digs, you know, you've come to the wrong game. There was a good banter. We've always had a good relationship, and I kind of got into an issue when I left the ground with Man United fans. So 5 against 1 were not good odds, but a bunch of Geordies came around the corner, and yeah, that was put to bed. So I got a lot of respect for them. So
they were the good days, man.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No,
So,
there's one game I went to, like the Super Cup. Do you guys remember the Super Cup against
oh
Chelsea
yeah,
in Istanbul? I went to that one where we beat them on penalty shootouts, and Adrian saved the penalty and that stuff. There's one thing you can say about Turkey, yeah, it's very, very dangerous outside the stadium. What they do is that they all bunch up together. They suffocate each other outside the stadium when they get into the stadium. And my wife just dropped to the floor. I mean, because she was suffocating, and it was like Hillsborough kind of thing. So it was very dangerous. And I asked my Turkish mates about it and said this is a regular thing in their stadiums. They're very it's very dangerous out there as well. But yeah, there's something people don't know about when you go to Turkish stadiums. It's very, very dangerous, man.
and that will go. It's exactly the same in a lot of stadiums in South America. It's very, very similar like that. So yeah, and of course, as the game grows, that is an issue. But the passion, you can't beat the passion.
You can't beat the passion, man. Yeah,
No.
I was shocked. I was very shocked the way it was, like how like they let things like that happen. You know what I mean? And especially what's happened in the past, you know, with Hillsborough and all that stuff. And yeah, it scared me, man.
It's just the way.
Hopefully, we'll be back. Big up Uncle Ross, big up, man. I'm just gonna read that in the comments before we go. Hopefully we'll be back, Dara. Jake is a brilliant guy, man. Absolutely brilliant guy.
Yeah, Sam, bro. He's a Cockney. Supposed Liverpool. Yeah.
Slot being like this all year. Sorry, Slot being like this all year, though. The way he is. What are we talking about? The stubbornness, JK is talking about? What we was talking about earlier about the substitution?
Yeah, probably was playing the same 11 all the time.
Yeah, what can we do? As I said in the beginning, if you guys were here in the beginning, sometimes what you need to understand in formations and all that stuff, and the way a manager plays is a message out there. He's telling you the squad he has, he's not happy with. That's why he keeps repeating the same stuff again and again and again. So that's what you got to look at. If you know what I mean, guys. I gotta break my fast very soon, guys. So let me just go through the comments. Is there anything here? Sorry. There we go. Realisms is saying there was no way our midfield could dominate. They have superior players, in my honest opinion. Okay. I just think fatigue is caught up with the players, bro. I've always said that, and I'm going to stick by that. Because the similarity between the PSG game and our game is crazy. It's madness, man. Wild Wolf says people understand a lot. Our players are still young, new midfield, need a few players. Yeah, we all. Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there, mate. 100%. Gravenberch is 22, Superstar is 24, McAllister is 26. You know what I mean, and all that stuff. And people don't look into that now. Big up, Wilded Wolf. Big up, chat, and thanks, comments. Appreciate that, bro. I didn't go, but you did. Thanks. For slot. Hang on, what are you saying? I tried to get the big screen in it, JK.
I
have
to read them, no problem, bro.
Yeah.
For slot pressure in the big games showed. Yeah. Bang on.
100%, man. Well, this one.
Kelleher, based on tradition and pens, can't blame that decision. Him starting the Newcastle game.
Okay.
From Dustin, that Dan Burn goal maybe all saves, but it wasn't Kelleher. We were poor and we paid deserved goals anyway. Yeah, like for me, Kelleher didn't really make no difference in that scoreline for me.
Yeah.
We were poor.
Wolf
got my first.
You got to look at it in the game, innit, JK? You got to look at it as an overall. Overall, we wasn't a good team.
We weren't.
You have to be honest with yourself about things like that, guys. You can't lie to yourself. You know what I mean? But carry on.
And Wolf, yeah, go on, bro.
He said, "Why the Wolf says I got my first Liverpool shirt in 1971. It's been my club since 1971. Goodness me, I wasn't even born. JK wasn't even born. Had many fathers. If you don't love the owner, tough life goes on. Yeah, it's true. Realism says like, subscribe, and share, please, people. Big up to everybody. And if you're watching in other social media such as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, just come to the YouTube channel. We're on the road to 3,000. We are gonna be the representation for you guys as a fan base. That's what we want in it, JK.
Yeah, spot on. Real.
I think JK's put up some.
That's the 12 man's link, and then you got Brian's underneath, and then mine at the bottom. Yeah.
Yep. There you go, people. Please go and subscribe to these guys, and Uncle Rods, of course, is on the channel as well, and Luca. Big up, Luca, brother. Arsenal fan, genuine Arsenal fan. No, he's a very
Wolf
nice.
Thinks I'm spamming. That's me, Wolf. Don't worry about it, bro. I'm putting links in for my fellow brothers. For stop spam.
It's him, man. It's him. He's the guy
me,
next
bro.
to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay, bro. It's okay. We're helping everybody else, man. That's what we're all about. Boxing judges must be. How do you say this?
Must revise their scoring criteria to address concerns regarding corruption and bias. We need transparent.
Yeah.
While Wolf's got a house in Alabama.
Alabama? I've been to. Was that Alabama? No, I haven't been to Alabama. I've been somewhere else actually. Do you know I drove from New York to Washington? Yeah, I stayed there for one day, and I drove all the way to Florida from there, bro, in one day.
Boy, wow!
You know what I mean? You know how far that is, like from Washington.
Mission.
It's not like going to Liverpool, you know.
It's like 10 times that.
Yeah, it's like going to a different country, but in England. I can't believe I did that. It's the 12 man from Arizona. Yeah, he's from Arizona. Yeah, JK knows more than me. I know 12 man for a long time, but I've never asked him about things like that.
He's from the US. He is. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, JK.
Cricket's good, Abdul. Cricket, I just talk about cricket underneath.
Is it?
I've played cricket for Sunday League and stuff, and I've been wicket keeper and stuff like that. I love cricket, 40 overs.
Get up. Where is that one?
It's just, wait 1 second. Cricket is a boring sport. I played it, and if you either like it or love it, or you don't, it's one of them.
I liked it. I was an athlete in it. You know, there's people that's just sport. Like they just if you put them in a sport, they get better at it. I was just like that in basketball, cricket, fencing, anything. Like and cross country, 100 meters. I used to do it all. I was a proper athlete when I was a kid.
Rugby, everything, bro.
Anything. I used to just play every time. 100%. Yeah, guys, do me a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. And me and JK and Dara are out of here. We should be back tonight, but I'm not promising anything. Let me just put it that way. But JK will be back with 12 man later on. What time exactly, JK?
I'm not 100% sure yet. It'll probably be in the next few hours.
All right, brother. Take care, everybody. Like, share,
Take care,
subscribe.
people.
See you soon.